Viewers, hello, live viewers, as you guys trickle in. How's everybody doing today? Let me see who's coming into the room. Welcome. I don't see anybody coming in. I see numbers. I don't see names. Makunda D. Ewing. I hope I got that right. I hope I didn't mess up your name. I apologize if I did. Hello, those of you who are coming into the room. We are reviewing the Grant Cardone book, The 10X Rule. I've been doing this, and today is the final chapter of what I'm going to be doing. Hello, Lewis. Welcome to the room. We are going to be talking about chapter 22 of Grant Cardone's 10X Rule. And it is successful or unsuccessful, the characteristics of people who are successful versus the people who are unsuccessful. So for those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Ryan Roy. I am a success coach. I help people, individuals, small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, real estate agents, authors, salespeople, anybody who doesn't necessarily have a boss in their life. I help them formulate their goals, clearly define it so that they can create a roadmap, and we create a roadmap together of small actionable goals that get them to their larger successes in life. Anna Chicago, thank you so much for joining the scope today. That's who I am. Who's ready to start diving into the chapter? If you guys can put a 1 in the box if you don't know who I am so that I can acknowledge you, that would be great. Let me know what your name is and where you're from, and that would be awesome. Anna, thank you so much for inviting your followers out. Today is an awesome chapter. He has like 30 things that he defines people as successful or unsuccessful. So I may have some web viewers. For the web viewers, I want to acknowledge you also and thank you. And if anybody wants to know a little bit more, you are Nova. Welcome, Nova, from Washington State, all the way on the other side of the country. I'm in the Atlanta area. So welcome to the room. I appreciate you being here and engaging. Hello, Irina. How are you doing? We're staying away from the storm, aren't we, my friend? So, chapter 22, successful or unsuccessful. And guys, just so you know that I know that you're here and that you're engaging, if you could tap that screen and throw me a stream of hearts, that lets me know that you guys are here and that I didn't lose connection. And it also allows me to know that we can engage. I am safe. Yes, because I'm Atlanta, it'll hit Savannah and then take off. We may get a band of water, but that's about it. So, successful people talk, think, and approach situations, challenges, and problems differently than most people, right? They definitely think about money differently than most people. Listed in this chapter are the commonly found qualities and personality traits and habits that make people successful. So, the number one thing that he says that successful people have, and if somebody could type this in, that would be awesome, is a can-do attitude. They have this attitude towards everything. One of the challenges that I have, and I hear people say, is I can't do that. Well, if you believe you can or you believe you cannot, Henry Ford, you're right? Because if that's your belief, no matter what, you're going to be right. So start believing that you can, and you'll be surprised at how much you actually start to accomplish. So having a can-do attitude, as a matter of fact, when my son, which is 5 years old, you're right anyways, right? You're absolutely right. You can't do it. If that's what you believe, you are absolutely right. You will not be able to do it. I tell my son all the time, whenever he says, Daddy, I can't do that, I'm like, you may not be able to do it now, but you can do it later. We just need to practice. So we have that can-do attitude in the household. Number 2 is this: believe that I will figure it out. I didn't even look at that before I said it. We'll figure it out later. It's a process. How many of you know how to read? Put a 1 in the box. I'm not getting a lot of interaction here, so I'm not expecting it. But if you put a 1 in the box, guess what? You didn't learn how to read out the womb. You learned your alphabet by repetition. Then once you learn the alphabet, thank you so much for engaging. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. And then it was like, we need to know the sounds. Ah, B, B, S, S, S. And then we were able to start putting those sounds together. And the reason it's so relevant in my mind right now, hello Cassie, how are you doing? I'm reviewing the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Last chapter, chapter 22. So We'll figure it out, but it may take some time. Successful people believe this. They know this, and they're willing to put the time in. That's what successful people do. Successful people, number 3, do this. They focus on opportunity, right? Success is overcoming challenges. Therefore, you can't succeed without some difficulty. We are in what I call a microwave society. Everybody wants to put something in a microwave and bake a potato that takes an hour and 20 minutes in an oven, and they want it done in 6 minutes. Well, guess what? That doesn't work in business. That doesn't work in life, in any other area except for technology, right? We need to learn the technology as humans. We're not computers. We're not microwaves. We're not drive-thrus. We need to figure these things out over time. We can't expect to graduate high school and have a PhD. No, you got to go through the process, but everybody wants everything now because society is telling us that we can have it now. And the biggest shame of Google, in my opinion, is this. I don't remember anything anymore. Because if I don't remember it, I just say, oh, you know what, I'll go Google it again. So there's no retention. And I say that for myself, and I do retain a lot. But imagine most people. My son will ask me a question. I said, what do you think? We got to get him thinking. Can't just give him the answer or Google it, people. So we focus on opportunity. We must overcome challenges. We love challenges. When we see challenges, we see opportunity. So my definition of a business is this. To solve people's problems, which are challenges, for a profit. To solve people's problems for a profit. When you see a challenge, how you doing, Shar? When you see people's challenges, right? Those are problems that if you can solve them, you can make money on. And successful people see challenges as an opportunity to make money. Hello, Shannon. Great to see you. Shar, thanks for being here. Which leads into 5. And guys, literally, I'm flipping the pages and then telling you what I think about it. Number 5, seek problems to solve. I didn't read the chapter today. I glanced at it because I started reading these and I'm like, they fall one into the other. This is what successful people do. You seek problems to solve. They see a challenge or they seek a challenge. They go and solve it. One of the businesses that I had back in 2010 is I bought people's gold. People were out of money. People needed money. People were going and pawning their gold for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar. I was paying people 50 cents on the dollar. Did I solve a problem for those people? Yes. I found an opportunity. There was a problem. I went and bought people's gold. I was giving them 2.5, 3 times the money everybody else was giving them. I still doubled my money. Oh, no, well, number 4, I won't recap because there's so many. Number 4 was they love challenges. Thank you for asking. And number 5 was they seek problems to solve. Right? You're welcome. Number 6, they persist until they're successful. Number 6 is they persist until they're successful. Sometimes I feel like taking new problems to solve because, and I missed that. Give me 1 second. I caught it towards the end. And if somebody could put up a comment, I could go back and look at that one. Just somebody put a 1 in the box for me. I just want to read what they said. There you go. Persist until successful. So it sometimes feel like taking on new problems to solve is not comfortable because and I don't have the rest of that yet. Here's the thing. We don't need to take on a bunch of problems at a time. We need to take on one problem at a time, find out how we can find a solution to that problem, tell people they have that problem, and when we tell people they have that problem, they go, wow, I have that problem. How do I solve it? You go, I have the answer. Here's where you can pay for it. Solve one problem at a time. That's just my own thing. That's not Grant. Persist until successful. This is what successful people do. You want to know what? How many times have people got on Periscope and said, I'm going to start broadcasting. I got a message to share. And I've been doing this for 9 months, guys, and I haven't hit what I want to consider success. They don't give up, Shar. There you go. But they persist until they're successful. I've been a serial entrepreneur my entire life. I've made enormous amounts of money. I've also had times where I had no money coming in for an entire year, not a dime for an entire year. I've had times where I sit there and I've made $15,000 in 10 minutes. I've had times where I've made $250,000. I've had years where I've made $10,000. But in those years I make 10 grand, guess what happens? I'm learning. I'm studying markets. I'm doing things. And then the next couple of years, $250,000. It's like, okay, awesome. New adventure, new problem, because I'm bored. Guys, that's what happens. You persist till you're successful, and I'll share with you $1.3 million bankruptcy in 2009. Guess what? I wanted to give up. I'm like, maybe this entrepreneurial thing's not for me. That lasted about 3 weeks, and I was like, this working thing sucks for me personally. I'm not saying it's wrong for anybody else. I got to figure out another thing to do, and that's when I got into the gold, and I made 100 grand pretty quick. Yup. Yes, history will repeat. It will repeat. Number 7 is they take risks. Do you think it's risky to quit a job that's nice and cushy to go and pursue a passion or a dream? They take risks. Successful people take risks. He says in here, and I like this story as I did glance at it, he says he was in a casino at in Vegas. He says there was a guy sitting next to him, and he says, these casinos will always make money because people that play here are never willing to take risks at levels great enough to wipe them out. And Grant says, no different in real life. It's no different in real life that people do not want to take enough risk to sit there and put all their chips on the table and say, I'm ready to go all in on this. And I guarantee you, you go all in on something with the right mentorship and the right mindset and the right amount of drive, you are going to have success. Which leads to number 8. Successful people are unreasonable. What? Is that right? He says, is that an error? Yep, he said unreasonable. I introduced the notion that the successful salesperson must be unreasonable with his or her client in order to consummate the sale. So, I heard this on a scope this morning. How many of you know Debbie Belleville? Put a 1 in the box. How many of you know Debbie Belleville? Put a 1 in the box. Because I found this interesting, or she shared, it wasn't on a scope, it was on a video message her and I sent back to each other. She says, Irina, you'll appreciate this because Irina, you do this. Irina is unreasonable. I have talked to Irina God knows how many times, and she continues to follow up with email because she has an opportunity that she believes that I am a good fit for. She's unreasonable and unwavering in her attempts to talk to me. She doesn't try to convince me. She provides me with information all the time. I appreciate that. Debbie Belleville, there's someone that knows she drinks coffee and has an opportunity to do an MLM regarding coffee. And they are relentless or unreasonable. They haven't accepted no as an answer. So you know what she says this morning? The person finally said, just give me your address. Irina, does that sound familiar? Just give me your address. I'm going to send you samples. If you like it, you can tell people. If you don't like it, just tell me and I won't bother you again. And guess what? Unreasonable. Like, I can't say no to this person enough. They're not going to stop. That is awesome. Be dangerous. Do you think it's dangerous to ask somebody their address when you barely know them? Yeah, but guess what? That's number 9, by the way. Number 9 is be dangerous. Too often, I have a child, so I get this. Moms, dads are like, oh, we need to child-proof the house. It needs to be in reason, right? Because it needs to be somewhat dangerous so that they're not protected in a bubble. We need to be dangerous in our businesses. We need to be dangerous to be successful. We need to get out of our comfort zone and not always protect ourselves from what could go wrong, but let's go into this opportunity knowing that there could be a great outcome. Be dangerous in your opportunities and go and make things happen. Successful people do something else, guys. Number 10. Successful people create wealth. Successful people create wealth. Attitude toward wealth is an especially significant distinction between the financially successful and the financially unsuccessful. Be dangerous with your eyes wide open. Man, you could fly down the highway at 100 miles an hour as long as you're looking in all those mirrors at all times and you know what you're doing and you create enough buffer to protect yourself, you can be dangerous within reason. No, even no should not make you give up on that person. Yeah, well, how many times do people say no? You should never give up on anybody if you believe that there's an opportunity there that they need to look at. And that's what I appreciate about you. It may not be the right time for the opportunity for me, but the opportunity may arise here in the near future, and I have something brewing, Irina, that I may be contacting you not too long, because I'll be scoping about some of those stories you and I shared. Right? And that's just reaffirmation to you to know that what you're doing is right, and it's not in a bad way. That's what I love about what you do. You say, hey, Ryan, I got a video you could watch. Whether or not I watch it, you did your job. You're doing your 10x actions. So they think about wealth and creating it, not for abundance for themselves, because they know if they create abundance for themselves, right, that's not the goal. If I create abundance for you, naturally, I'm going to create abundance for myself. He says number 11 is this. Successful people readily take action. And what he basically says, the one line I highlighted here was, that's what this book is about. Taking action in massive amounts consistently. If you post on Facebook 10 times a day, every single day, and tweet out every single day, and scope multiple times a day, and respond to emails all day long, and return phone calls, and put in the phone calls that you don't necessarily want to put in. If you do that every single day, 5 days a week, only 5 days a week, I didn't say 7 days a week, you're going to have massive results. Cram your time into a significant amount of time and into a minute amount of time. I just talked to a client earlier. He's got a lot of stuff to do today. It's about 8 hours worth of work. I said, listen, work for 45 minutes. I don't care what you do with the other 15 minutes. Regroup, reset, have a drink. You go to the bathroom, watch some television. I don't care. Set a timer. Go back for 45 hard minutes. You do that for 6 times today, everything he needs to accomplish is going to get done. And he's like, I never thought about doing that. And I'm like, that's why you hired me. And guess what? I'm going to get some results at the end of the day. He's going to be like, oh my God, the day flew by and it wasn't intimidating. Because people try to do 5 hours at a time and then you get burnt out. Followed you on your another Sco Ferrari fan from Ireland. Awesome. We got Ferrari fans. How many of you would love to have a Ferrari? Put a 1 in the box. How many of you would love to have a Ferrari car? Put a 1 in the box. Not just the name, but the actual car. I know you would love to have one. Irina. Right? I don't want one either, Lewis. I was just curious as to what the answers would be. I don't want a Ferrari. I'd sell it. I'd sell it and make money. If somebody gave me a Ferrari, I would sell it and reinvest the money into something else. Manage your time, manage your money, manage your business, manage your life, right? And I shared this yesterday. I wanted to write a book. Somebody discouraged me from it. Plan your day, plan your life so that you can plan to live, right? Plan your day, plan your life so that you can plan to live. Yeah, so it's cool, right? A Ferrari's cool, but for me, I always think in terms of wealth, right? If I'm going to purchase a depreciating asset, it doesn't make sense to me financially. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm not going to purchase a depreciating asset. I will never own a boat. I may rent boats. I may rent yachts. I may rent captains of yachts. But I'm not going to sit there and own a yacht and put somebody on the payroll. It just doesn't make any sense like that. Number 12. Who's ready for number 12? Put a 12 in the box. Put a 12 in the box if you were ready for number 12. And I saw somebody else come in here. Announce yourself so I could do it. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you so much, Nova. Let's do this. So, great toy for vacations. Enjoyed riding my Tesla. It makes more sense. There you go. Angelina, welcome. So, number 12 is this. Always say yes. Always say yes to opportunities. Joetta, thank you so much from Ohio. I appreciate you being in the room. Number 12 is say yes to all opportunities. Too many people will say no to an opportunity without seeing it. Irina, when you approached me with an opportunity, I said, yes, I'm open to hearing it, right? I don't think I've ever told you no. We may not have proceeded forward, but I've never told you no because I don't want to close the door on opportunity, right? Hey, I get approached at opportunities all day long. And guess what? I'm always like, let me hear. Send me some information. Let me look at it. And I do. And I respond. And guess what? It may not be the opportunity today, but I always say yes to opportunity because I don't know which one is going to click for me in that moment where I go, whoa, Like the gold, guys. The gold was awesome. I made over 150K in gold doing it on the side over like a 1.5 year period. 13, habitually commit. Listen to it. Habitually commit. I shared with you earlier on the scope, somebody wants to interview me on Monday. It says, I'm open Mondays. I'm like, when's your next Monday? He goes, well, next Monday's available, but it's short notice. I said, book me. I looked at my calendar. It was empty. Book me now. Because if I start thinking about it, the calendar's going to fill in or something's going to happen. Habitually commit. Cassie, when you asked me, what did I say? Let's do it. It took me a little while to get back to you, but I said, let's do it. Her and I had a technical difficulty, and we still crushed the interview. Right? It wasn't exactly, but I committed to it, and I told her. She goes, I wasn't sure if you were going to stay on. I said, I committed to this, so we're going to stay on and we're going to do it. Lorena, thank you so much for coming in. So habitually commit. And once you commit, if you cannot commit, and I'm not saying, oh, I don't feel like it. If you cannot commit, I had a whole conversation with another client today about this. Make sure you verbally and formally decommit. That's not in the book, guys. If you cannot commit, I want somebody to put in here, you need to verbally and formally decommit. That is so important. Too many people are blowing people off these days, not showing up. And guess what? Nobody wants to do business with someone who doesn't show up. If you can't show up to the first meeting or the second meeting, I'm never going to do business with you because it shows me how our relationship is going to be long term. Don't do that, man. Nobody wrote in verbally decommit. So habitually commit. Number 14. You ready for number 14? Go all the way. Thank you so much for that. Go all the way. I shared yesterday, guys. I shared this yesterday. Hey, Reggie. I shared this yesterday. I said when I committed to doing this, it wasn't in my mind playing out the way I wanted it to play out. And I said to myself, man, I don't want to do the entire book. It's not yielding the type of results I desired, but I committed to it. So I committed to going all the way through the book. Now I shifted it. It was going to be a 4-week series. I condensed it and started doing 2 chapters a day this week to get it done this week. Oh, great question, Anna. So verbally and formally. Some people will leave a voice message and it's like, hey, I can't make it. You need to not only understand, you can't send somebody an email right before and say, I decommit. Or leave somebody a voicemail. So formally would mean to make sure that the other person knows that you decommitted. So somebody could verbally over a voicemail. But the other person may not have gotten the voicemail. You need to make sure you contact that person and that person knows. You can't 3 days later be like, well, I called you. I left you a text. I did this last minute. You need to make sure that if that person's relying on you to be there, that they know, not that you just did your part. Because you committed, you need to make sure that they know. None of this half-butt effort of, couldn't make it. So you need to really put energy and effort into it. It's going to show a few things about you. It's going to show that, 1, you're committed. It's going to be 2, that you are reliable. Even though you're decommitting, you're making sure going above and beyond. Many times when I have to do something, and I'm a coach, right? I have clients. Sometimes I need to rearrange my schedule, but I also tell my clients that I can rearrange their schedule within reason. I always say this. This is how I always approach it, and I've never had a problem. Hey, I have a challenge, a scheduling issue with us next week. I know in advance. I don't give them 24 hours. Here's the thing. Next week, I tell them, can you rearrange your schedule and can we do it on, I give them multiple options. If you cannot for any reason, I'm willing to stay committed to our original arrangement because this is my challenge. And guess what? 10 times out of 10, they're like, Ryan, no problem. Because I'm formally and verbally decommitting from a set time, giving them options, and then also saying, that I'm willing to stick to our schedule because that's what I committed to with you. And 10 times out of 10, people are like, man, I overwhelmed them with, I gave them time, I gave them space multiple times to change it to, and I also said, I'm willing to not even change my schedule because I already committed to you. And people bend over backwards for you when you go to that level of commitment. I hope that clarifies that. But you got to do that, right? You got to do that. It takes time, energy, effort, communication. It takes all of those things. So, number 14 is go all the way. And that's what we just talked about. Sorry. 15. People focus on now. People focus on now. Number 15 is focus on now. Too many people are concerned about what happened last week. I shared this in a scope a couple days ago. Somebody challenged something I did on one of my broadcasts on Facebook. They didn't like what I did. I'm glad you appreciate that one. Somebody yesterday, this happened 4, 5, 6 days ago. Somebody yesterday called me about something I did on a broadcast 5 days ago and told me they weren't offended by it, but they heard that some other people were offended by it. Let's get on a phone call. That happened 5 days ago. I forgot about it 4 days, 24 hours, 23 hours and 59 minutes ago. And yet people are focusing on something that happened last week and want to talk about it today when they said they weren't offended. Good. I'm glad you weren't offended. I got my life to live. Focus on now. Can't focus on tomorrow. It doesn't even exist yet. We don't even know if we have it. I told people earlier in the week I lost a friend. He's not here today. If he was focused on next week, he was focused on the wrong thing because next week, we're burying him this weekend. We're burying him this weekend. What's next week for him? It doesn't exist. Successful people focus on what they can do right now, knowing that if they're focused right now, the results will come because they actually did the work. And if every day you're focused right now, what am I doing now to be successful? What am I doing right now? What am I doing right now to be successful? I'm teaching people how to be successful. And because I'm teaching how to be people to be successful and I'm a success coach, I'm going to offer you guys an opportunity to get a coaching session with me. And you could go to ryanroy.me and go to the top of the screen and you could get a free coaching session with me. I'm teaching people how to be successful, but I'm demonstrating that I practice this, guys. I read this stuff. I do this stuff. I'm continually getting better. Actions today will bring you tomorrow. Absolutely. 16. Successful people demonstrate courage. And this is a long scope, guys, by the way. We got like 15 more to go. They demonstrate courage. Successful people, do you think it's courageous? How many of you are super comfortable getting on a broadcast every single day? If you're not extremely comfortable, put a 1 in the box. Getting on a broadcast every single day. It takes some courage to get out here and put yourself out there. Put a 1. I put a 1 in the box because I'm not completely comfortable doing it. I'm not completely comfortable doing this every single day. Sometimes when I get through one of these longer scopes, guys, I get up and I'm in like a pool of sweat. I've been sweating. I'm like, man, my energy levels were up. I don't know if I'm helping you guys. I don't know how I'm helping you or if I'm helping you. I'm putting myself out there in hopes that I connect with someone, some way, and I change one life one day at a time. Because if I do 365 scopes and I change 365 people's lives, boom, I'm taking care of people. Regina, give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to that. In this moment, moving you towards your goal or away from your goal, right? What are we doing? Are we going towards something? Are we coming away from it? And we need to act now and demonstrate courage. I love this one. Number 17, we must embrace change. Embrace change. Listen, 18 months ago, I think it is now, this crazy new technology came in. Does anybody know what the technology that came in just about 18 months ago now? They birthed a new technology 18 months ago. Do you guys, anyone know what it is? Embrace change. Anybody willing to take a guess on the technology that was birthed 18 months ago? Boom! Periscope. Live streaming. Meerkat was the first one, but Periscope is the first one to put it into the hands of masses. And there's a lot of people, there's thousands upon thousands of people walking down the street when I'm doing a scope, walking down the street are like, what is that dude doing? They think I'm probably FaceTiming. not FaceTiming. I'm talking to an audience of people who get to interact with me. This is change, people. This is in its infancy. This is a freaking gold mine if you can figure this out. But too many people are like, I'm not getting on that. 10 years from now, people are going to be like, live streaming? Man, I remember back when there was Facebook. Just kidding. It's real time. It's real time. But people need to embrace the change, not fight it. As soon as I found out about this, I started broadcasting. I'm like, man, I don't want to go and do live talks and arranging these things forever to try and get clients. Why don't I just hit the live broadcast button and crush it? Mr. Roto Smith in the house. Welcome, my friend. Number 18, determine and take the right approach. I talked about this while doing this book, and it's kind of a review of the book, right? Determine and take the right approach. If you want to be successful, don't try to reinvent the wheel. You know what I did when I got on Periscope? I went and watched all the broadcasters that had tens of thousands of viewers and followers. And I said, what are these people doing right? And I started mimicking them. They introduced themselves. They reintroduced themselves. They welcome the people to the room. They sit there and ask questions so that you people can acknowledge. And they're like, and I was like, wow, what a fascinating idea. And what did I start doing? I got on and I started thanking people. Thank you, Lorena, for all the hearts. Guys, how many times do I thank people for hearts? How many times do I ask you questions? How many times do I say put a 1 in the box? How many times do I do those things? Determine and take the right approach. However, there's a lot of people who get on here and lecture. And for that, they can be doing a YouTube broadcast, right? We're not into YouTube here. This is live streaming. We need to get you guys involved, right? Put a 10 in the box if you guys agree with me that the whole thing, approach, even in the face of criticism. Listen, yeah, if you know it's the right thing to do because you've researched it, you need to do that, even though other people are going to say, hey, that's not going to work. Thank you, Rodney, for putting that in there. I appreciate you. Dieter, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, Shar. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Lorena. And then you thank the people for engaging because people like to hear their own name. Live stream is a vehicle that gives us all who want it to have a broad voice. Absolutely. To have a voice, period. Thanks for coming in. We are reviewing, just a real quick recap, reviewing the 10X rule. I am on chapter 22. It's the last one. If you want the book, you can go and get it there. If you guys want to take a screenshot, bit.ly/action10x. And you can visit me, Ryan Roy, at ryanroy.me and learn a little bit more about me. There's my little break. Number 19, break traditional ideas. Do you know how many people tell me that I'm crazy for broadcasting? They don't understand it. I don't need them to understand it. It's breaking tradition. Traditionally, I need to go and shake hands with 1,000 people at a networking event that they're all trying to get business. I don't need to do that. I can hit the live broadcast. That is break. And he didn't write this year. This is written in 2010. I'm just using today's stuff to give examples. Periscope is awesome. Break traditional ideas. Number 20. Oh my God, this is right up my alley. Be goal-oriented. Be goal-oriented. I laugh, Irina, because all I can think of is Trump in his debate. People telling him that he doesn't pay taxes, and he goes, that makes me smart. So, old-fashioned will complain. And, I agree with him. It makes him smart. I'm actually doing a scope tonight. Guys, for those of you who don't know, hashtag tonight, Financial Fridays. I am going to divert and go into finances because we all need to know a little bit more about money. How would many of you like to know a little bit more about money? Thank you for putting that in there. I'm going to follow up. How many of you would like to understand money at a higher level so that you could use it to your advantage? Put a 1 in the box. There you go, Lorena. Always. So if we understand money, we could use it to our advantage. Tonight, you're a gold digger. Hey, listen, I said it. You're a gold digger. I love that. So visit me tonight, guys, at 7 Eastern Standard Time. But at 6 o'clock, I'm going to invite you guys into another room. We're going to do Financial Fridays, and there's going to be 8 amazing broadcasts sharing their perspective of money. For those of you who don't know, my degree is in finance. I take for granted my financial knowledge. I know I do. I started writing something yesterday for Financial Fridays. I'm going to show each and every single one of you how to make $5,000 by doing one simple thing tomorrow. Tonight I'm going to show. But you could do that one simple thing tomorrow. How many of you would be interested in making $5,000 tomorrow? And I'm telling you, this is like the easiest thing in the world. Hidden secrets of money. I'm going to teach you how to make $5,000 tomorrow. But I'm going to teach it to you tonight. It's so, there's so many ways to make money. So there's two ways to make money. You either make more money or you save more money. And if you could combine the two, your bank accounts explode, people. And tonight, Eastern Standard Time, tonight, Financial Fridays, I'm going to teach you guys how to make $5,000 tonight. And you guys are going to be like, I never knew that. And I'm going to be like, please show the board again. More than welcome. More than happy to do so. There you go. You could buy ryanroy.me as my website. And you could go to the bit.ly link to get this book. This book is phenomenal. So I got to go back for a second. You could screenshot that if you want. So be goal-oriented. As a coach, the one thing I do, and I have a client of mine in here right now, make you write your goals down. We formulate them and we break them down to what I call small actionable steps. Every single day, my clients need to report to me what they're doing. Because if you're not doing anything, you're not going to get any results. And if you're goal-oriented and your goals are in front of you on a daily basis, guess what? They're in the forefront of your mind. You focus on them, and whatever you focus on expands. So I love that he says be goal-oriented. I believe it is Les Brown that says this. You need to look at your goals twice every day. First thing when you wake up and right before you go to bed. And in between, you need to accomplish them. And he says something to that effect. It's not exact, but he says you need to look at your goals twice a day. I say look at them all day long and make sure you're checking them off. People say it's almost like a, people say this, it's like a to-do list. Yeah, it's a to-do list for success. It's a to-do list for success. Be on a mission is number 21. Be on a freaking mission. There's another client telling me if they could go to what time is it, guys? I don't have a clock next to me. Bob challenged me like this. I love it. Oh, I got 8 minutes. So I got 11. I got 13 minutes. So give me one. Can I respond to a client real quick that's asking me if we could postpone 5 minutes? Would that be all right with you guys? Be on a mission. You know what? I'm not even going to waste. She knows we're good. She knows we're good. Let's do it. So, be on a mission. Be relentless. Be relentless in your pursuit of what it is that you desire. Be on a mission. You don't want to just do stuff. Hula hoop, right? Shar, you're on a mission to lose inches off your waist. Last I checked, you were off like 8.5 inches in 3 months. Guess what, guys? She's on a mission to lose weight. She doesn't hula hoop once a week. She hula hoops every freaking day. She's on a mission. If you're on a mission to be successful, you're doing stuff every day to be successful. Right? You like that, Rodney? You don't even know, Rodney. Rodney, I'm sending you a hula hoop, buddy. Just so you guys know, you want to talk about success? That guy right there. 96 pounds lost in the last 11 months. Boom! He's on a mission, people. He's on a mission, people. Still on different missions. And we all have missions. Do you understand that sometimes females especially get sent into many directions? Carrie gave thoughts. Yes. And I expect you to be in different areas. So, and you could ask my clients, or you could see if you were to get Anna, do me a favor, literally go to my website and we'll talk over the phone. Schedule an appointment. I love to coach around balance. If you're focused and you know what you want in all areas of your life, then if you have a goal in each area of your life, then you can focus on those and make sure that you do it. I'll give a quick example. In my life, my family is super important. In non-working hours, it's their time. In non-working hours, it's their time. From 5 to 9 every single day is family time. After 9, I go back to work because my wife goes to bed and my son goes to bed. Weekends are devoted to family. It's because it's a focus of mine. But those hours are literally blocked on my calendar for my family. Health goals. before 8 o'clock. Just working out, getting my planks in, doing my stuff. There are time slots for all these things because I know the goals that I want to accomplish in all those areas, and therefore they get accomplished because I focus on them every day. Each of the goals, I do something every day in order to accomplish it, and I do that for my clients also. And we know that things come up, but we adjust for them. Have a high level of motivation. Listen, we got to know our whys, people. My wife, you know what? At the end of the day, listen to this, Irina. She doesn't have a choice whether or not to support me. Everything I do is for the betterment of our family. And I'm so strong and passionate about that. She can either be with me or not. And that maybe sound harsh, but everything I do is for the family. And she knows that. It's all based around my son and us. Therefore, if she doesn't want to support us growing as a family and growing and being successful and helping other people and doing things like that, guess what? She may not be the right woman for me, but I'll let you guys know she is the right woman for me. She's absolutely amazing. If a woman or a person in your life is not supporting you, supporting other people, and taking things to the next level, when you put aside the time for them also, it's not like they get pushed aside, then there's a problem. There's not an alignment of goals, and you need to find the right person to do it. It's hard to understand sometimes, but usually your spouse catches on, realizes your why. Thank you. So be interested in results, right? We're results oriented. We don't create a goal. We want to know what the result is. Rodney, for example, his result was that he wanted to lose 2 pounds a week. Guess what? Do the math, guys. It's 100 pounds over a year. Guess what? He's right on pace. He's actually a little bit ahead of pace because he needed a result in short term to realize that long-term result. And he's done a phenomenal job of doing that. Have big goals and dreams. He wanted to lose 100 pounds. He wanted to start making some massive amounts of money in a separate business. We got him starting to make those dollars now. It's taken a year, but it takes time, energy, and effort. Remember, successful people do things until they're successful. They don't quit. That was like number 5, 6, 7, something like that. So have big goals and dreams. Out here walking and running now, right? As he's watching the scope. As he talks to me every week, he's like, what's Ryan got to say? He's always dropping some knowledge. He's got me to 100 pounds down and building a business. I got time. I'm going to learn. I would say educate yourself. Create your own reality. What reality do you want? I wanted to have a lot of time with my son. My success is I grew up without a father. My son will not have that. My mother worked an ungodly amount of hours to put food on the table. God bless her for being the work ethic and the example in that way. But the one thing I didn't appreciate is I didn't have a support system in the form of parents. So guess what? You want to know why from 5 to 9 I don't scope? You want to know why I don't work from 5 to 9? Because that's his time. That's my wife's time. The weekends are their time. And I put in the hours during working hours and post-working hours to make sure that I have that time. Create your own reality, my reality. There you go. That's it. You need to sit there and do this. But you need to create the reality you want in your mind, put it down on paper, and then start executing it. Commit first and figure it out later. I laugh because I've had so many clients be like, man, I don't think that's going to work. I said, I know it's going to work. You just need to do the work. And then they end up committing to it, and then they figure out later that what they thought was going to work wasn't going to work. I have a client right now, not Rodney, who wants to lose some weight also. It's part of his goals. I told him he got to eat more, and he's like, how do I eat more and lose weight? I said, don't try to figure it out logically. When you start eating more, and this is what you need to eat, and you start losing weight, you're going to be so baffled, like, why am I losing weight? He's starving himself. His body's in starvation mode. Because his body's in starvation mode, it retains everything he consumes and won't let it go. Guys, eat more in smaller increments and healthy stuff, and you're going to lose weight. Be highly ethical. Guys, don't lie to people. Don't try to... There's enough money and enough things in these world that... And this is coming from a dancer. Diet is 80% of success. You can exercise all day long. If you're not fueling your body with the right stuff at the right times of the day to maximize your metabolism, you're not going to have success. And most people don't realize that. Oh, I'll eat one meal a day. you are going to starve, and your body's going to retain everything and never let it go. Be interested in the group. Man, find amazing people around. Shar is in a group right now, a faith and fitness group that I'm in right now. We're all in groups on Facebook. You can't just be in a group, but you must interact and be interested in the group in order to have success. You don't exercise much, and you probably exercise more, but because you're a dancer, you probably don't realize how much you still exercise. Be interested in the group was number 28. Number 29 for time purposes, guys, is be dedicated to continuous learning. All of you are learners right now. All of you are in here. All of you are saying, he's talking about success tips from Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone's worth $500 million. Maybe Ryan sharing his version of it, of Grant Cardone, based on what Grant Cardone says, may have some stuff. You are all continuous learners. I encourage you not only to learn, but to implement what you learn. And that brings us into 30. Shar, you're so awesome. 30 means become uncomfortable. See, I say implement it. Implementation is the hardest part because it's uncomfortable for most. It's things that you haven't done. I'm so excited when people start implementing because I know they're getting closer to their goals. I don't care if you've read a book. I don't care if you've gone to a course. I don't care what'd you do after you left. And the big reason I became an accountability coach, because I saw too many people buying books, buying seminars, doing stuff, and they weren't implementing anything they learned, even though they knew what they needed to do. We know what to do. We're just scared to do it in fear of failure. Number 31, reach up in relationships. I don't even know what this means. Do you mind if I read it? You're awesome. Thank you. You're awesome. Reach up in relationships. If it were up to me, this would be a basic course for every year that someone attended school. It would include drills in which people are encouraged to do things that they are not comfortable doing. The successful constantly talk about having people around them who are smarter, brighter, and more creative. It's unlikely that you'll hear one of them say, I got here surrounded by myself with more people just like me. So I had somebody draw something for somebody the other day, and they were like, dude, that drawing is phenomenal. Where did it come from? Like, I have an artist friend. Yeah, you know how many people need my service? They don't even want my service. They need my service. Hang around people you can look up to. All of your up and down line need my service, Irina, but they don't think on these levels, right? So reach up and find people who are doing better than you. And if they're doing better than you, go and learn for them. Pull them down to be mentors. They're called coaches. They're called mentors. They're called teachers. But I've found that teachers and mentors are busy, so coaches will charge you, but they're charging you for their knowledge, their expertise, their experience, their mindset. How many of you watch Dancing with the Stars? Put a 1 in the box. How many of you watch Dancing with the Stars or have watched the show? I love it, and this is the reason I love it. The mentors or the coaches or the professional dancers totally encourage the people. They totally encourage. They're always like, you got this. You're amazing. We're going to crush this. You've prepared. It's like, man. And these people go on and are like, oh my God, you said I was going to be amazing. You believed in me. Therefore, I believed in myself and I went out and did it. Your friends are there. That's awesome. But when you're watching them do it, see, I'm a coach, right? This is what I do for my clients. I'm constantly encouraging, let them know they can do it. When I believe in them, and a lot of times, Irina, you didn't have anybody believing in you growing up. You probably had to do a lot on your own, considering mom was mom and dad. So you had to be self-driven. You didn't know if someone believed in you. I don't know this to be true or not. I know I didn't feel as though someone believed in me. But because I believe in people, because I know what I've done, and I put that belief into them, whether they believe it or not, I believe in them, and then they start doing it, and they're like, oh my God, you believed in me. You believed in me. Same here. Same here. That's why we connect. We get it. Number 32, be disciplined. And again, hiring a coach is about being disciplined. If you can discipline yourself, if you can't self-discipline yourself because you don't know how, because you've never done it, wouldn't you hire somebody who has a system of discipline and is going to call you out and do these things for you? And you became to be independent, which is hard at times to rely on people such as an upline or a downline to do your business for you. I took tax class later and had anxiety about ability to do it. I passed, but I was so scared. We're going to talk about some of that tonight, Anna, so I hope you come in tonight. Guys, my name's Ryan Roy. I actually got to get going. That was it. That was 32. That was the 10X rule. You could go back and watch the scopes, or you could just go buy the book and read it for yourself and get your own perspective on it, which I highly suggest. The cheapest, least expensive place I found it is at bit.ly/action10x. You are welcome. If you guys are not following me, click on the little Perry guy in the corner and hit the follow button. I love you too. You're welcome, Irina. You guys are absolutely amazing. I appreciate you. You guys could spend your time anywhere. Child always does better with parental acknowledgement, encouragement, approval. Absolutely. I'll share this very short story and then I'm going to get out of here. Let's connect later next week. Set up a time with me because today is super full and the weekend is super full. So if you want to connect with me on Monday, that'd be awesome, Irina. All right, you got my number. Text me. We'll put something on the calendar. What was I going to say? You're welcome. My wife. I'm a coach, right? I know what it takes. I know what it takes mentally to get my son to do things. And it's not traditional, right? I don't force him. I encourage the crap out of him. I support him. I verbally abuse him with positive energy. You like that? I verbally abuse him with positive energy, and my wife says you encourage him too much. And I said, there is no such thing. Statistics are this. For every negative thing that is said to a child, it takes 15 to 20 positive things to negate the negative thing. 15 to 20 positive things. And I know not everything that comes out of my mouth is uberly positive. Therefore, I need to crush him with that positive stuff. I shared this with somebody earlier. Here's the thing. My son, 5 years old, and I watch other parents pick up their kids and do things. My son is the only one, I'm very observant, that runs up to me every single day and hugs me and says, Daddy, I can't wait to go home. I love you. Every single day. Because he knows I love him and I shower him with love. So guess what he does in return? That's all he knows. He showers me and my wife with love. Boom. 15 to 20 positive things. And look at all the negative crap out there, Shar. Look at all the negative crap out there that people are experiencing every single day. And we're hit with 1,000 negative things a day. And that's why the world is such a challenged place right now. Because people are surrounded by negativity. Don't pay attention to it. Join me tonight for Financial Fridays, guys, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to tell you how you can make $5,000 by doing one simple thing. Have an amazing day. I appreciate all of you. We'll talk to you later. Bye.